Hi everyone, are you guys able to get me?
Yes.
All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Kutemo Masafwa. I am a member of the New Seasons Youth Program, and we're hosting these professional development workshops, just like to learn from each other, obviously, and to also connect with everyone. So I'm very curious to know, like, where are you guys tuning in from, and or where's your country of origin? So if you want to type in the chat, or if you feel brave enough to speak up, yeah. But where are you tuning in from? What's your country of origin?
Tuliwa ku Zambia ifwe.
Of course.
Zambia kuchalo.
Zambia kuchalo bosses.
Yeah, I'm from Zambia as well.
Yeah, but currently I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. So
Okay, nice.
So,
I'm in New Orleans right now. If you didn't tell already, I'm Zambian. Okay, so I see some Nigerians and Zimbabweans. Anyone wanted to say something? Okay, I see Washington, DC. Okay, Zimbabwe. It's just Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Nigeria. Any others represented?
Jamaica here.
yes.
Yeah, we see you. What did you say, Oka?
Best West African country, Ivory Coast.
Oh, nice.
yeah, we beat them in 2012. So yeah, that's good.
Oh no,
Said-
Jackson, don't
No.
start.
It's personal. What's this one from Japan with a Zambian name? No, but anyway, it's great to have you guys here. I don't know how many of us were able to attend Ghana, nice. I don't know how many of us were able to attend last week's workshop, but this is just a continuation from that. Last week we talked about internships. It was amazing. I learned so much from it. And also, the recording will be made available if you weren't able to join last week. But today we have something amazing coming up. We're talking about connections, something which applies to every single field that you're in. It doesn't matter what you're studying or, what your aspirations are. Connections are so, so important. So before I go into introducing our amazing speakers, I just want to tell you a little bit about the New Seasons Youth Program. And also, if you want to turn on your camera, feel free. No obligations whatsoever. It's just nice to see some faces here. But yeah, so the New Seasons Youth Program is an organization based in the US, in Atlanta, Georgia. And the main goal is to help people from African countries and the Caribbean to come to the US. So I'm one of the people who's benefited greatly from that program. And in addition to helping us, obviously, to come here, we have a strong connection of people, some of who are on this call, which is amazing. So yeah, it's just like an amazing program that helps people to apply to the US. So I don't know how many of us are here or in the process, but I'm really grateful to be in such an amazing program. So yeah, I'm going to introduce our speakers. So I'm sure most of us have seen the flyer, but we have two amazing speakers today. We have Jackson Kakwenya, who we've already heard from, who's very passionate about football, obviously. But yes, and we have Nelson Mukuka. So wait, I'm looking at, okay, yes. So to introduce Nelson Mukuka, Nelson is an immunologist dedicated to unraveling the complexities of immune aging and developing innovative treatments for infectious diseases. With a focus on adaptive immunity, his research aims to contribute significantly to the advancement of human health. A recipient of the Trustees Level Academic Scholarship, he began his professional career in 2023 at the Allen Institute as a post-bac research associate. As a member of the American Heart Association, Nelson has had stints as a research intern at other top pharmaceutical companies like Novartis. As a devout Christian, Nelson spends most of his time listening to audiobooks, watching documentaries, and playing soccer. His love for family and history drives him to find the happiness life has to offer. As the founder of a startup focused on easing access of goods and services in Zambia, with an emphasis on quick and efficient delivery of goods, Nelson's multifaceted approach to life is aimed at exploring and learning from the world around him. I don't know, I'm very excited to meet this Nelson guy, whoever he is, but yes. And then Jackson, Jackson is also known as the great, the one and the only. is an exemplary computer science engineer and graduate from Johnson C. Smith University with a flawless 4.0 GPA, summa cum laude, of course. He has been recognized with top scholarships like the James B. Duke Scholarship and has embarked on a professional career as a software engineer at Bank of America. Jackson's technical acumen is further evidenced by his impressive performances in numerous hackathons, including a sponsor favorite accolade at the HBCU Battle of Brains and an honorable mention at Lily's Hackathon, where he competed solo against hundreds of teams. In addition to his academic and professional endeavors, Jackson is the co-founder and co-host of the Beyond Borders podcast. This innovative platform explores diverse global stories, offering insights into personal journeys, cultural nuances, and visionary ideas, with each episode inviting guests from various backgrounds to share their perspectives and connect across continents. A devout Christian with a curious mind, Jackson enjoys exploring the philosophical underpinnings of why things happen the way they do, blending his faith with a keen interest in understanding the world around him. His passion for technology is matched by his love for comedy and entertainment, which he believes plays a critical role in learning and personal growth. As a founder of a tech startup focused on empowering underserved communities and a leader in both the National Society of Black Engineers and campus debates team, Jackson strives to make those around him excel in all they are doing. And that's not all, there's a lot more. But yes, I'm very happy to hand over to these two people, amazing people. As mentioned in multiple things, they've started multiple companies, and also they're the founders of the Beyond Borders podcast, which is amazing. I hope they share that with us as they share about networking. But yeah, I'm very happy to hand over, and yeah, you guys can take the floor.
Yeah, as Kutemo has said, very, very much comedic here, but that doesn't mean that we cannot learn one or two things. And just to kick off stuff, like Kutemo has said, we Nelson and I are the founders of the Beyond Borders podcast, and without further ado, I can see we have a number of people in the room right now. So I'm gonna invite every one of us to subscribe to our channel. So we have a lot of content out there, and I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm expecting a number of new subscribers by the end of the meeting. So please click on the link. You can subscribe to the channel. We have about 13 episodes or so at the moment. One of them, of course, is featuring our lovely host, Kutema, which was an amazing episode. I'm sure you can go through the catalog that we have. There's a lot of amazing content out there. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot you can learn from the episodes we're having. And who knows, maybe you guys might be invited for one or two episodes in the future. So please subscribe to the channel and then support the channel as much as you can. And then we might reach out to one or two of you to get more of the sharing of the connections we're talking about right now. So first of all, thank you so much for having us. I think we are grateful. This is an amazing opportunity to meet and share some of our experiences with everyone in this room. So as we are deciding what we want the direction this particular session to take, Nelson and I decided to say we have so much experience between the two of us, and we don't want it to be more of Nelson and I talking. So please, you can interrupt us at any moment you feel like doing so. We want this to be more interactive. So the connections the information we're gonna share on our slides, you sort of have heard it before. Like in the last session, the amazing speakers Mulenga and Mulendano, they shared a lot of amazing content, and some of the things they shared might be redundant in the slides that we've prepared. But mostly, we just want it to be more interactive. We want you guys to ask as many questions as you can. Interrupt us whenever you feel like you can. We want this to be interactive. It's all about our experience and what we've achieved so far. Some of the things you feel like we can help you with at the moment, we're gonna do that. But we'll try as much as possible to go through the slides real quick, and then we'll just spend a lot of time allowing you guys to ask as many questions as you can. So without further ado, I'm gonna hand it over to Nelson to kick us off, We're gonna go through the slides real quick, like I said, and then after that, we're gonna open the floor for questions. We are expecting a lot of questions from you guys, so please do ask as many questions as you can.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jackson. Thank you so much, Kutemo, for that amazing introduction. It's always interesting hearing what you've done from the perspective of other people, even though I'm the one who wrote that, but hearing you say all that, I was like, ish, I've done all this. Probably still a lot more to do. So I hope my story and Jackson's story can like inspire other people to also venture into whatever they are passionate about. Today's topic has the title of Connection Clinic, or whatever you want to call it. To me, I kind of think of it as a session where we get to talk about how to make connections and networks, how to maintain them, and why exactly you should do this in the very first place. So we'll try to mostly talk about what you should do and what you must do. One thing I learned early on when I came to the US, one thing I was taught early on when I came here is the system kind of works different from most of our African countries. So learning about it and adapting and making sure you're making the most out of every opportunity that is available for you out there means you have to connect with as many people as you can. So we'll go through those and just in brief, let's see if just a brief couple of things that we're going to touch on. As you've clearly seen, this will be segmented into two parts, my part and Jackson's part. I will talk about mostly why you should connect, how you should connect, and when you should connect, some benefits of connections, and my own personal experience from all these connections, and Jackson will tackle the latter part. And like he said, if you have any questions, just feel free to pop them in the chat. We have plenty of time at the end of this session to answer, many more questions. And again, like Jackson has said, this will probably touch on a few things that the previous presenters talked about, but I feel like it's a great connection between what was said previously and the other stuff that will be coming forward, stuff like how to, curate your resumes, how to apply to grad schools, jobs and stuff like that. And so for starters, I have a question. I just want, just in general, if you guys can, post in the chat, what you think is the most common mistake that people make when they're networking. So this can be at maybe a networking event, or when you're trying to, the many of your times you've tried to connect to people. What do you think are some of the mistakes that you have made? I just want to see what the consensus is. Okay. So not following up with connections. Yeah, talking about necessary stuff. Being too formal without, okay. Yeah, so hopefully we are going to address some of these questions and how we can better ourselves. And I think I need to give a disclaimer. In no way is this PowerPoint going to be exhaustive. So certain things will probably be left out, and you guys probably know of a few other tricks that we're hopefully going to add on to. So when I was preparing this PowerPoint, I got curious just to see how many HR people or recruiters are actually on some of these networking or connecting platforms like LinkedIn. One statistic that quickly stood out to me was that over 70% of job seekers actually find their positions through networking events. So this can range from maybe LinkedIn, and many other platforms, in-person connections and stuff like that. So a very good question that then pops up is why exactly or who should you connect to? And I always like to think of this as it being variable and dependent from person to person. And also the very first question you should ask yourself if you want to connect to someone is, what is your end goal about this connection that you want to make? Are you just trying to connect for the sake of social connections, or is it a professional connection that you want to make? That will at least give you an idea of who exactly you can connect to. And these connections can be with people like professors, if you want something more of a professional setting, or mentors, or even peers. So to put it another way, you should have an end goal with your connections. If you're connecting with a professor, then you have an end goal of maybe, hopefully, doing some sort of research that they're doing. If it's a mentor, maybe you want some guidance with a particular field, that in the particular field that you're in. Or if it's just your peers, maybe you just want a sense of belonging, like the social aspect of it. So this PowerPoint will mainly focus on the professional side of things. And so then that begs the question, why should you make these connections? There's an old saying that says, sometimes it's not what you know, it's also who you know. So, many people have gotten, I personally have gotten many internships just based off of who I knew. Be it a professor or a peer who recommended me to someone else who they thought would be a good fit for the things that I have done. And this has mostly stemmed because of the conversations that I have had with those people. So connections also help you to tap into other people's networks. This world is big and vast. It's impossible to know everything. It's also impossible to know everyone. So by connecting and networking with as many people, you kind of get to tap into their networks as well. It also improves your social well-being. I think this is less well talked about, especially seeing that we all just came from the COVID lockdown, so we kind of missed that social interaction very much I think that was however long COVID lasted. So it is imperative now, even more than ever, to make these connections to actually develop our social well-beings. There are so many of us now who have that social anxiety because of so many different reasons, be it your upbringing or COVID or many different other things. So connections do help with the social interaction improvement. It also helps us to be innovative. Someone once told me, if you're in a room of short people, you will never know you're short until you get out of that room and you see maybe there are even shorter people than you, or tall people. So connections will help you be innovative, see things in a different light. I think that cannot be overemphasized. That's why I actually put it in bold. To an even bigger degree, it also helps with improving your professional interactions. As we are making that transition from high school to college and into the work environment, there's a certain level of professionalism that is needed, and you can only develop that by interacting with other people, professionals in their fields and experts. And so you kind of get that interaction even before you get into working or going to grad school. And so when exactly should you connect is also a good question to ask. And really the answer with this is all the time. There's a saying that goes, try to make an impression with everyone that you meet, or try to leave a piece of you with everyone that you meet. You never know how that could be useful. It could be you just talking about your passions. You never know who will also be passionate about that, and how you can make that connection that authentic. And I think this is something Jackson will touch on later. The authenticity of connections. That just means you being your true self. And that means you can only be your true self all the time. So I always like to think of connections as happening all the time. You should also be intentional with your connections, tying in with the very first point that I raised about having an end goal with your connections. I think this is especially true in undergrad because you're coming in most of the time in your freshman year, you're not exactly sure what you want to do and what you want to pursue. So you're meeting a lot of people. So to me, I think one thing that helped me was just being intentional, just narrowing things down a bit to my personal interests, but being open enough to actually take in everything that's coming my way. But, having that foresight to filter through what's important and what's not important based off of my interests and my passions. So I feel like this brief introduction kind of, introduces us to, okay, so I know how I should connect, I know when I should connect, and I know why I should connect. How exactly, do I connect? So there are a couple of platforms that you can use that I have particularly found to be helpful. One that immediately jumps to mind for most people here is, of course, LinkedIn. Now, this is also, it's kind of a touchy subject because many people go about it different. I personally think it's a good way to connect with people that you look up to. I have personally researched companies just by going on their LinkedIn profiles, seeing their mission statements. I've looked up people that so based off of my introduction, I'm a researcher, so most experts in my field who have a LinkedIn profile, they'll have their papers attached to that, so you can look them up. It's just easier to find them, follow them, comment on their stuff. And you can also do this to like potential mentors and your peers as well. It's also important to make a very good LinkedIn profile for yourself. Make sure you include everything that you've done, or the skill set or the skills that you have. If you have attended a conference, just make sure to pop it there. So not so much of your social life, but mostly your professional life. Like I said, skills that you're doing, maybe an important class that you think helped you to advance in your career and stuff like that. So LinkedIn will also provide you with the opportunity to engage with your connections, like I've said. And yeah, post your career updates. Most companies are watching, most recruiters are watching. Most recruiters from companies are actually surveying, and I think there's something, the algorithm has a way in which recruiters can filter through based on like keywords. So maybe someone just wants to filter through people who've done a course in Python. There's a way in which you can filter through. So if you're constantly updating and regularly updating your profile, you have higher chances of getting noticed. So just engage, like I said, with your peers, comment on their stuff. That way you also get more visibility. Another good way to actually make these connections is just through school websites. And I squeeze this one in for people who might be considering going to grad school. Most professors have their work linked to their profiles on those websites. So if you ever wanted to email a professor, or even grad students who are actually already at that school, you can find them through these school websites. And what I would say is, in America, the culture is kind of different. People do respond to emails as compared to the country I come from, Zambia. Most people do not read their emails. In America, people will read emails and they will respond to you most of the time, from my experience. And so there's something known as a cold email. If you really like this professor and you researched about the type of stuff that they do, or maybe you just want to inquire if they are doing any internships. And this can also be a recruiter. You can just send a cold email and say, hey, my name is, you introduce yourself. Just make sure it's short, simple, and sweet, concise. Introduce yourself, get straight to the point, attach your resume if necessary. If you deem it necessary to say, I really want them to see my resume, just put it there. So that's another good way to network and make these connections. For the freshmen, campus student centers are a great resource because they already have probably a list of partnerships that they already work with. So if you just want to like get a myriad of resources of what companies you can intern with, maybe what conferences you can go to, if you have particular interests in certain things, who you should be reaching out to. Most student centers are a good resource, and they mostly have someone specifically dedicated for that type of stuff. Another good way to make connections, one that I particularly wish I made more use of, is conferences. That's one thing that you should appreciate mostly about the US. And I say this because I think most of the people in the chat are of African origin, and we do not have that many conferences where we come from. So conferences, make sure you make the most use of them, speak to as many people, and just be articulate. Like I said earlier on, talk about what you're passionate about. If you're working on any side projects, talk to them about them. You never know who might be interested in that. Also, just avoid being with the people that you know all the time at the conference. Try to meet someone new. Try to talk to someone who's new at a conference, because of course the natural thing to do when you're in a big setting where you do not know a lot of people is to cling to the people that you know. But one thing that helped me was just putting myself out there, just finding a random person, talking to them. You'd be amazed at the type of things people out there are doing. And so specifically, I put hackathons there for people who are in com science. I think Jackson maybe would touch more on that, but I think of it as a niche conference because it's mostly meeting like-minded individuals with common career goals. So even in that specific career, you want to make sure you are as broad enough with what you know. So it's also a good place to network, and the same rules apply. Just talk to as many people as you can. And lastly, but not the least, for people who are considering grad school, a good place to make connections, virtual open information sessions. And most academic institutions actually offer these. So let's say you want to apply to get your MBA at a particular school, just go to their website. The chances are they probably offer virtual open sessions. You can sign up for that and you get more info. You get to meet the recruiters, certain students who are already there, how they got there, and stuff like that. This was supposed to be a question I think I was supposed to ask, what is the most popular professional networking platform? But you guys have probably already picked this up. It's probably LinkedIn, if we're talking of the professional things of it. When it comes to the social things of it, there's a debate whether it's Facebook or TikTok. My bet is on Facebook. But so far, these are the resources that I have personally found to be helpful. Particular ones that I would highlight that I have made the most use of, conferences and LinkedIn. So maybe you guys can also keep an eye on that. And so moving along, I've briefly touched on this, the importance of connections and networking. First of all, career advancement. You need as many people to be by your side, to mentor you, help you, give you advice, and just lay their career paths and how they got to where they are, so that you can follow in those footsteps and possibly tailor it to your own career growth. So this can bring about things like job opportunities, career growth. It also is super important in terms of knowledge sharing. Exchanging ideas and learning from one another is of paramount importance. I cannot overemphasize this. As you guys clearly heard in our introductions, me and Jackson have startup companies, and this is because we share these ideas, also because we are connected. So I have this network of people that I know I can bounce ideas off of. It also brings about the support system. no man is an island. So having these networks and connections will provide you that support system that you need whenever whenever you think you've reached your ceiling. You always need people who have a different skill set and level of experience to guide you through. It's also important for building relationships, whether it be professional and personal. And sometimes professional relationships can spill over into personal relationships. Those are actually the best, in my opinion, because imagine being friends on a personal level with someone that you consider a mentor. And so that's something that I always strive for with people that I look up to. I want to know them on a professional level, but also on personal level, because they're a person first before they are a professional, right? And it's only after you know them on a personal level that you can sometimes appreciate the challenges, but also the sweetness of their accomplishments. Moving along, I have a sample LinkedIn conversation just to sum everything that I've presented on. So this is I attended a conference a few months ago, and this professor was giving a talk in immunology about innate immunity. And so I found his talk very, very interesting. Firstly, he was well articulate. He was young, I think in his early 30s. And so I just, I found it interesting and I wanted to make a connection with him, like get in contact with him. The research that he was doing was particularly important to me. And so in this example here, it's just a sample LinkedIn conversation. I literally just looked him up. I found him and I just sent him a message, say, hey, I attended your lecture and I found it interesting. You inspired me to continue going in my field. And quickly he responded. He was like, thank you. And yeah, you can read the sample conversations for yourself. But I bring this up to say this conversation has obviously continued after this. Of course, confidentiality, I will not share everything, but surprised, well, not so surprising to say, but this connection has actually landed me an interview for one of the grad school positions that I'm looking to apply to, because of just this one simple thing, just me reaching out to someone. And what's even funny enough is the interview that I have is not actually with him, but with a friend of his who's doing the research that I'm particularly interested in. So he's not doing the research that I wanted, but he pointed me in the right direction. And so this for me sums up the importance of connections via LinkedIn. But again, this can be applied to simple emailing and stuff like that. So some brief best practices for networking that Jackson will also get into includes things like just being genuine, like don't force it. Reading the room is also a very important thing. Following up on conversations and discussions, again, Jackson will go deeper on that and how to best do that. And I think for me, one of also the most important things is relationships will not be done right there on the spot. You have to build it over time. So be patient. The first pass is just you introducing yourself, talking about what both of you are passionate about, and just kind of trying to find some common ground that you can then build upon. And so with that, I'll leave you with a question that I hope you can put in the chat the answers to. How often do you guys think you should follow up with a new contact or a new network? I guess I can answer it first. I personally reach out to most of my mentors once every quarter, and it's an exhaustive email. I talk to them about what I've been working on. Because I'm a researcher, it's quite enough time to actually, write up an email with enough content and not just email people for the sake of emailing them. So I do it once every 3 months. But I'm interested to see what you guys think, how often you should follow up with a new contact. And with that, I would leave you in the safe hands of Jackson Kakwenya.
Safe hands. I don't know about safe hands though, because yeah, that was really amazing, bro. Yeah, let's give it up for Nelson. He gave us some amazing talk right there. So we've heard the good part about connections that Nelson talked about. My session is gonna be a little bit rough. I might say some things that you will not agree with, but I think they have to be said if we're gonna, advance in whatever fields we're doing. I think that's why I named my session "Building Authentic." I think authenticity is at the center of it, or most of the times we sort of wanna be put in a certain box to be able, to succeed in life. People tell us you have to act a certain type of way, but for me, I think number one is authenticity, and I think throughout my presentation, I think you're gonna hear that, and then throughout my life as well, I've portrayed that, and that has led me to where I am right now. So authenticity is number one for me, but also we need to build lasting connections, and then I'm gonna share a little bit of insights on how we can create professional success. Yeah, so let's go ahead. Next slide. So the first thing that I put up here is I called it alumni networks, but I think it's networks in general. So if I look at my life, almost everything that I've accomplished was as a result of somebody either recommending or talking to the people that were offering that on my behalf. So when I talk about networks, I mean you need to surround yourself with groups of people that are in a position to speak for you, even when you're not there. When you go into corporate settings, or even like as you advance in life, you start hearing certain things like, you need to have two types of people in your life. You need to have a mentor and you need to have a sponsor. So a mentor is somebody that will guide you to advance in whatever you're doing. A sponsor is somebody that will speak for you when you are not there. So these two sets of people, you can find them with the groups that you are part of. Now, these groups could be alumni groups, like the New Seasons Youth Program. This is an amazing group. The alumni that have completed school and that they are doing a lot of amazing things. If you reach out to them, if you are in a certain field, a field that you aspire to be in, reach out to them, just trying to understand how they got to where they are, the challenges they faced. If you do that, they're gonna eliminate some of these questions you might have. You might be wondering, say, how do I get an internship in my first year? How do I get an internship in my second year? How do I get an internship in the third year? After that, how do I secure a job after I graduate? Once you have those groups and you are engaging with them, it takes away all that uncertainty. They're going to give you some answers and you might be at a better position than they were. So you need to surround yourself with people that can offer you insights on what you want to do in life. But on top of that, you also need to have people that can speak for you when you're not there. So, we do encounter a lot of opportunities in our lives. There are people that tell us of hackathons, conferences, job opportunities, internship opportunities. And if me as Jackson, I do not know anybody in my circle that can benefit from that opportunity, I'm just going to tell the people that are offering that to say, oh, you know what, just go out in the society and see whoever you can get. But if I know people in my circle that I know can benefit from that, I'm going to recommend you to that opportunity that they're offering. So the more you have such people in your circle, the more you're going to be exposed to different opportunities. So you really, really need to find yourself some alumni groups or some different groups, even on campus. There's these clubs that people are part of. I used to be a part of the NSYP team, National Society for Black Engineers. I used to be a part of the debates team, and all these groups, they exposed me to different opportunities that helped me to land to where I am right now. So if you do not expose yourself to those opportunities, to those groups, you might not have opportunities that they offer. So please be intentional in joining different groups and then just see what they are offering there and then ask questions as much as possible. Ask for mentorship. So, you know, I always get this thing to say, this question where people are always asking, say, oh, you're always talking about mentorship and sponsorship. How do you get that? Nobody is going to come to you, bro. You need to make the first step. So if I am there to be mentor, right? Like, even if I don't have a lot of people that I'm mentoring, I might have 1 or 2 people. I'm going to be focused on those 2 people unless somebody else reaches out to me and says, yo, could you help me with this? Then I'm going to consider helping. So do not assume that just because you're a part of a group, people automatically have to assist you. You need to reach out, you need to tell them exactly what you want to do, and then they'll assist you. So seek these mentorship opportunities and internships, and then you never know who's going to help. Yeah, next slide, bro. Now, here's how we're going to create long-term connections. You need to create long-term connections. That's first of all. By long-term, I mean, it doesn't have to be 1 week and you're done talking to that person. You need a person that is going to help you. I'm going to give you an example. When I was applying for new seasons, right? The person that recommended this program to me, I knew them 5 years prior to that. So imagine if I had never kept that connection with them, I would have never heard of New Seasons. The fact that I had kept that connection, I kept on reaching out and, you know, having conversations with these people. When the time for New Seasons came, that person recommended this program to me, and then I applied, and the rest, as they say, is history. You need to learn to create long-term relationships. So how do you do that? I said at the beginning of my presentation that you need to be authentic. There is nothing that is a letdown to people more than somebody that is faking, and it's like clear that you're faking it. If you're faking a connection, people are going to see through that. You need to be authentic. Here's what I mean. Like, if you're being your authentic self and somebody doesn't like you, you guys are never meant to be to make a long-lasting connection. Let me just be frank with that. If you're gonna force it, it's gonna show, like, the person will be irritated. You don't want to make a connection where somebody is irritated by you. You being yourself and somebody is irritated, they are not gonna help you whatsoever. They're gonna feel like every time they see your face, they're like, oh, here we go again. This person is just about to ruin my day. Let me just go and just tell them what they want to hear and go about my day. They're not gonna help you. You need to be authentic. Once you connect with somebody and it's an authentic connection, that person will genuinely want to help you. They want to help you from the bottom of their heart. They're not going to fake it like most people do. So you need to create trust with the people that you're creating the connection with. Be yourself, speak your mind, say exactly what you want to do, right? And once you do that, you're going to have long-lasting relationships. And these are some of the tips that I laid down to see, to give you an insight of what I mean to create these long-term relationships. Number 1, you need to be consistent. When I say consistent, I mean you need to reach out. If you say you need an internship and you don't have it yet, reach out to the person like, yo, Butsa, you told me that you can help me with this. So like, yo, Buddha, like, this is where I am right now. What can I do to like improve? Just constantly bug them. Sometimes mentors, they have so much on their plate, but they tend to forget sometimes. So if you don't reach out frequently, they might forget that they were supposed to assist you. So you need to reach out to them like, yo, what's good? Even just saying hi. Once you say hi, they'll remember to say, oh, I needed to help you with this, and then they're going to follow up. So you need to be consistent. Check in with your connections. Even a hi, it doesn't have to be like so formal and so long. Even a hi, just letting them know, oh, this is what I'm up to, or how are you doing, and other stuff. That is going to click in their minds to say, I need to help you with what I said I'm going to help you with. Number 1, you need to offer value. I'm going to speak as a Zambian. I don't know about other countries. In Zambia, we have this saying where what do they say? They're like Idi and Kudi. So you need to give me something before I give you something. Guys, this doesn't work when you're creating long-term relationships. You need to offer value first. The person shouldn't feel like you're just there to use them. They need to feel like you are going to offer your best self, and then they can do whatever they can to assist you. So you need to offer value first. Show them why you are good. Show them why you are seeking that mentorship. Show them why you should be their number one mentee. Show them why you deserve the opportunities you claim you need. If you show them that, people are more willing to assist you in the long run. And then number two, you need to keep the communications open. Don't be so private. Once you create the connection and then somebody asks you a question, you're like, yo, yeah, I don't think I can share that. Then why did you start the connection in the first place if you feel like you have some information to hide? So just choose some things you gotta share, and then just keep an open line. You know, the mentor might reach out at any point. At any point, you need to keep that open. They might be free 2 months from now. Just let them know that they can reach out to you at any point. That's what I mean by keep the connections open. You need to remember to share your personal details as well. If you share, if you connect with somebody, they need to reach out to you via different platforms. We have so much exposure to the internet right now and social platforms. You can share your personal line. If you're not comfortable, you can share your social lines. You have LinkedIn. Make sure you have these personal details that people can know you about. I want to share another thing, another story. So the new seasons, during the application of the new seasons, right? They needed to reach me, and my phone was off. Nobody could reach me at that particular point. But because I had shared my personal details, I had shared my Facebook handle with the person that was assisting me. They went to my Facebook and they're like, you know what, I can't reach this person right now, but I really need them to know that they have to attend this interview. It was somebody that was going to sponsor my flight. So they went to my Facebook and then they found out that I was working at a certain place. And then they went to that place and then they found me there. And so they were telling me the story of how my phone was off and they couldn't get to me. And then they were like, because you had shared your Facebook handle, I knew where you worked and that's how I found you. And because they found me, I talked to the person that was sponsoring my flight, and then they sponsored my flight. So imagine if I did not give these people my Facebook handle, they wouldn't have known where to find me, and I probably wouldn't have gotten that opportunity that I got. So sharing such things is very important. Like I said, I've been preaching this. You need to be genuine and authentic. Somebody that is lying is gonna show eventually. Don't fake things. I know people are always telling you fake it till you make it. I'm here to tell you, don't fake it, because you will not make it. You might not go to a certain place and you might think that is the end goal for you. That might not be the end goal for you. You can just be yourself, and I promise you, you're gonna go further than you would have if you were faking it. Be yourself and just let these other things align with you. There are people that believe in they call it the energies of the universe. You need to feel the energy of the earth. The earth is telling you to do something. If you are being yourself, those energies are gonna align and you're gonna reach greater heights than you would have if you were faking it. So please do not fake it. Be your authentic self. Otherwise, if you fake it, you might have to fake it for the rest of your life. And trust me, that is exhausting. You do not want to be faking it your whole life. Just be yourself and things are gonna seem easy. Yeah, show gratitude. That's the other point that I had there. Please and thank you. I know people are always telling us, like we grew up, people telling us, no, you need to be thankful for whatever you do. Guys, it goes a long way. I'm speaking out of experience. I was helping a number of people. I've forgotten what it was exactly, but it was like about 10 or so people. And only 2 or 3 came back to me and said, oh, we thank you for whatever you did. And trust me, because those people said that to me, I connected to them more and I was willing to assist them more because they said thank you to me. Be grateful. Show gratitude. The moment you say thank you to somebody, even if they just spared 30 minutes of their time, it doesn't matter how long they spared, how much time they spent on you, thank them. Because once you do that, it just does something. I'm speaking out of experience. I'm not speaking as somebody that is just using the things I found on the internet. This is out of experience. Because somebody said thank you to me, I was more prone to help them. I was willing to assist them in any other way that we could. So if you do that, the relationship is going to be long lasting. Also, be patient. Now, this is crazy because most people want result. Yeah, things just don't happen. You need to have some patience in life. There are people that I know that, they created the relationship. They were doing almost everything that I've talked about, right? But they did not get the results right there and then. Results don't happen. Like sometimes you could get lucky, they could happen right there, but there are moments when they could take time. So just be patient. I always tell people, if you know you are doing the right thing and yet you are not seeing the results, just know that the result, once it hits, is going to be greater than whatever you've imagined in your life. So just be patient, just relax. Things are going to happen when they need to happen. Nothing is going to happen ahead of its time. If I'm going to go in the Christian route, I'm going to tell you that there's always destiny. God has something planned for you. And so just do what you have to do the right thing, keep the connections, keep the authenticity. The right time will come, and then you're going to get what you're going to get. Sometimes you might reach out to somebody and they're ignoring you for months. Just keep on reaching out. One day they're going to reach back to you, and then they might help you. Yeah. So, and then lastly, you need to stay humble and respectful. You know, these are connections. They might not be your peers. Just do up what you need to do, and yeah, these relationships are gonna last. Next slide, bro. Yeah, another advice that I have. Most of the things I want to talk about was in the previous slide, but another thing is encourage you guys to connect outside your field as well. You might be a biology major. You might try to connect with people in computer science, in psychology, because you never know where opportunity lies. Companies they are vast. They have different departments that are doing different things. So just because you are in one sector doesn't mean you need to connect only with people in your sector. Consider connecting with people in other sectors, because those people might help you, land a job or an internship because there's a vacancy in their field. I mean, in their department, and they need somebody with your expertise. So just learn to connect cross industry. Next slide, bro. Yeah, Nelson talked about a lot of this, so I'm not gonna spend much time, but utilize online platforms. We have LinkedIn and Facebook and other stuff. Utilize these guys. We're in a virtual, we're in this digital era where everybody can connect with anybody on the internet. So please utilize these platforms, connect with people, talk to people, be intentional about things. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, some of the do's and don'ts about networking. The do's, you need to be prepared. Don't go to a connection and you have no idea what you. There's nothing more annoying than somebody just asking a question for the sake of asking. Guys, I've had people that are asking me because they just need to ask a question. That is annoying. Don't do that. You need to be prepared. Know what you want, and then ask me exact questions, and then I can help you. You need to be respectful of the time, of course. Once you engage with me and I'm engaging back, just know that sometimes the mentors that you're reaching out to, the sponsors, they might be busy, so be respectful of their time. Like I said, you need to offer value. Show them that you deserve whatever they're, or you deserve them giving you their time. Follow up. They might tell you, oh, reach out to me in a certain period. You need to do that, and just constantly reach out and say hi. Keep in touch. Yeah, that's some of the things you need to do. Some of the things you do not have to do. Don't always talk about yourself. Here's what I mean. I mean, you need to show them that you are good at whatever you are asking for assistance with, right? But if you are always about me, I'll be like, this person is full of it. They need to give me time to like understand first of all what they are doing. And they need to ask me how I'm doing as well if I'm the mentor. So if you are constantly always talking about, oh, I did this, I did that, I'll be like, yeah, you are a proud person. I don't think I can associate myself with a proud person. So you don't want to become that. Just try to tone it down a little bit. Just speak enough about yourself. Let them ask you questions that I mean, if they ask you to speak about yourself, do that. But don't make it seem as though it's all about you. Yeah, it's not all about you. The world is bigger than you. Don't neglect body language. So as you're speaking in person, especially, your facial expressions matter. Somebody speaking to you, giving you some advice. To them, it might be the best advice they're giving you. And then you're busy looking the other way. You're looking down, chewing your nails and all that stuff. They'll be like, yeah, this person is not interested. So the next time they're not going to assist you. So please be cautious of your body language. Don't ask for favors immediately. Yeah, I'm speaking as a Zambian right now. Just because somebody has done something to you, you're like, yeah, if the boss says, nah, you gotta do this for me. Nah, it doesn't work like that, bro. You need to be patient with people. Don't ask for favors right away. Just tell them, yo, At your convenience, if you can assist, assist. Don't expect them to assist. We have a running joke, my friends and I, where we say when we're applying for schools in the United States, we received about 100 messages that started with "it is with genuine regret," and you're gonna receive those. So just be mindful that you might ask for something that people will not assist you. Don't burn bridges. So just because somebody said no to you now doesn't mean they're gonna say no the next time. Don't cut that connection off right there and then. They might be the ones that are gonna help you in the future. So just keep those relationships, even if they say no. Lastly, but not least, I've been saying this throughout. Do not fake it. Be real. There's nothing that is more annoying than somebody that is faking it and it can show. Do not fake it. Just be real. Yeah, these are some of the things we wanted to share, guys. I hope you've gotten one or two things. But like we said, we have, where I know we went more than what we said we would, but we wanted you guys to ask us as many questions as you can. Yeah, we're gonna answer any question that you have, and that this is the time that we can open up for you guys to ask us any questions. You can address it either Nelson and I. You can come off mute, or you can post in the chat, and Nelson and I can answer if we can. And just as a reminder, you guys need to subscribe to our channel. I'm not looking at the statistics right now, so I'm gonna follow up afterwards. Let me post the link again.
Jackson, as you're posting the link, I think there was an interesting question from JR, who said, how do you actually show these people your value?
Right. So when it comes about showing your value, first of all, I hope people watched the previous workshop. They offered some amazing insights on how you can get prepared for these opportunities. Let's say you're prepared for those opportunities, and what we've been preaching right now is you need to be authentic. Showing people your value is showing them the things you've done thus far to deserve whatever they're doing. You could be involved in different clubs. You could have applied. Just applying, you can have applied. You cannot be involved in any club, but if you've applied to 50 different institutions and you just show them that I've been applying, they'll see that value. You're going to say you're hardworking. That's what that shows. If you've applied to 50 different places, it shows that you're hardworking. So being yourself shows the value. But of course, on top of that, you also have to be involved in other different things. You can be involved in clubs. There's a lot of school opportunities, conferences. You can be going to conferences. If you show them that you've done that, they're gonna see this person is trustworthy. We can work with this person, and then they'll be willing to give you that opportunity.
Okay, there was also another question. I think it said, let me see. How important are certifications compared to honed talent?
Nelson, you can go first.
Yeah, I think for me it's a 50-50 thing. Certifications show that you actually have that zeal and commitment to actually start something and go all the way through. But what is more important is what you actually learned from that. So what you learned from that, and I think one thing to also keep in mind, what I've seen in most American companies is, if they want you to know something, they'll probably teach you that thing by themselves. So just having that commitment to learning is also important. So I would say 50-50. It's probably my best answer. Like, honed talent will take you far, but certifications in this world will set you apart because it shows that you have the commitment to actually start something and finish it. I think that's the whole reason why we go to school and get degrees rather than just learn it and not get an actual degree at the end, right? It shows that you are fully committed to learning something from start to end in a regulated system. So that's how I view it.
That can't be said any more perfect, but yeah, like there's no harm in getting certificates, but that doesn't mean that's all you need to be successful. Of course, you can get as many certificates as you can. But I would say compared to the two, you need to have the skills. You need to have the personal skills. You need to have what they call the soft skills first. Even in my field as a computer engineer, while you need the technical acumen, they need you to also have the soft skills, because most of the times in our fields, you won't be coding all the time. You need to be communicating what you're coding. You need to engage with stakeholders. So the soft skills are very essential, and you might get them via certificates or just by you learning every day. You might not need to provide a certificate to show people that, yo, I'm good at communications, I'm good at following up. But if you have that, it will be very good. But if you have a certificate to show for it, it doesn't hurt. That's all I'm trying to say. So yeah, it's good either way. If you can do it, but just know that it's not a requirement.
All right. Any other questions, comments, additions, subtractions, even?
I have a question.
Sure.
First of all, thank you for the amazing insights. But yeah, my question is like, okay, I've experienced a lot where like some people are just not being responsive. So would you recommend like let's say it's on LinkedIn and like I've already connected with this person, so I'm doing my follow-up, and then they just get to a point where they're not responding. Do you think I should send a follow-up message or just keep waiting?
Send a follow-up message. It doesn't matter how many messages you send, you need to back them. If you need to receive the help, let me give you an example. There's this person that I reached out to, and then they were not responding. I waited for 6 months, no response. I sent them another message. Waited for another 3 months, no response. I sent them another message. I was like, I'm not gonna stop until you respond to me. And then eventually they responded. And then I don't know if it's an excuse. I call it an excuse. They were like, no, I was off LinkedIn for a while. So I was like, yeah, you are off LinkedIn. Anyway, but yeah, eventually they did assist me and I got what I wanted. So what I'm trying to say is you need to know what you want. So if you know what you want, it won't matter how long, how many times you're gonna reach out to somebody. You can reach out 100 times, but you know what you want from that person. So just keep on doing it. They might ignore you 100 times, but hey, that 101st time might be the time. So just keep on bugging them. That's my take on that.
Yeah, I think it sometimes, so we give these connection platforms just as an example. Not everyone will be conversant and comfortable with LinkedIn. I think most of my mentors are not even on LinkedIn. They don't fancy it, So use other platforms. If you send a message on LinkedIn, they don't respond. Try to look them up on other platforms. Maybe try finding their email, because it'd also be pointless to send 1,000 messages and hoping that 1% chance that they respond, right? So you also have to be creative with it. So I don't know. Specifically in your case, Kutema is probably a professor, so find their email, email them, or find their contact, call them. The older generation, most people are not so conversant with technology like that, so it's kind of a bother if you go on LinkedIn and stuff like that. That would be my take. Good question, because you will encounter that. Not everyone will respond to you. So how do you then work around that? Yeah.
Thank
All
you,
right.
guys. Other question.
Other questions.
So like, how do you keep track of your connections? Because I assume that you've made multiple over the years. Like, how do you just keep up with them? Yeah. Not in terms of like, let me send a message, but like, how do you not forget? Like, how do you keep track of them?
I don't know what Nelson is going to say about this, but for me, first of all, I'm going to acknowledge that it's not easy. You might forget a couple or two. But remember what I said about being authentic, right? If you're authentic about the relationships you're creating and you're not faking it, it just feels real. It just feels like a part of you, it just be like mundane. You just be like, yo, let me check up on this person, and you won't even forget that person. But if you fake it, yes, you might have to like spend more time reaching out to people, and you might forget one or two things. So for me, what I do, I try as much as possible to keep the connections that I know I made authentically. There are a few that I created because I thought I needed to get a favor or two, but I think most of those that I created, they died down over the time. So you just forget that you ever knew that person. But the ones that I created authentically, I kept those, and it's just like normal. They post something, you respond, and then you just start a conversation out of that. You might stay for 3 months without talking to them, but then you post something, then they reach out and they're like, "Oh wow, I saw you did this. That was cool." Uh, but those that you faked, yeah, you might have to be spending a lot of time just trying to keep those relationships.
Yeah, personally, I'm an intentional type of a person, so I always like reach out, whether it's once a month or I don't know, once every 6 months. But when it comes to my mentors, who I consider like my specific connections and stuff, most of them I know them on a personal level too, so it's not a one-way street. And it also goes beyond work. So they also sometimes reach out to me, "Hey, yo, how is it going? What are you working on now?" Or, sometimes again, because I know them on a personal level, could be maybe I'm watching their favorite basketball team. I'll send them a text like, "Yo, are you watching the game?" We catch up like that. So when it comes to my professional ones, like I said, I try to reach out like once every 3 months just to update them. Mostly because I just want them to be abreast with the skills that I have in case I ever need a job in the future. But yeah, like Jackson said, it's not easy because as you're progressing and moving up the professional ladder, you have more connections, so it gets kind of difficult. That's why sometimes it's also good to just update them as one via LinkedIn. That way, most of your connections see your updates and they can engage, and you can do the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why platforms like LinkedIn are there, right? Like sharing something you've done notifies everybody in your connection circle. They're gonna see that, oh, you've achieved this, and then the people that you talk to uh, frequent, they might reach out to say hi. I saw this and I'm proud of you or something like that. So utilize these platforms.
Yep. Any other questions, comments? I think that was it. Thank you so much, guys, for having us. Appreciate you for sticking around and asking all these amazing questions. I hope you got something. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Can we please share some love with these speakers? Because, like, I've been to so many networking workshops where it's just like, yeah, just do it. Like, talk to them. But it's never been, such practical advice from experience. Like, we got a sample LinkedIn message literally from Nelson. We got so many tips that have helped Jackson. Like, you've heard, don't fake it. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate all the advice. Like, this is really like you really tailored it to all of us in this chat. Like, doesn't matter what field. I'm sure all of us have learned something from it. So thank you so much for taking the time to obviously prepare the presentation and to be here with us. And yeah, thank you also everyone for attending this session. I guess you guys can see the screen. This is a series, in case you are not aware, this is a series in the month of September that we're sharing. So last week was an internship bootcamp with Mulundano and Mulenga. Again, the recording will be sent, and I've also shared it in the chat. But that will be shared. It's been uploaded to our YouTube channel. And this week we had an amazing connection clinic. I'm sure our connections are healing as we speak. So yeah, don't forget to put what you learn into practice. But yeah, next week we'll be looking at showcasing the best you. So throughout the workshops we've had, there's been a mention of LinkedIn, there's been a mention of resumes, and last week we had a sample resume from Mulenga for tech people. But yeah, next week we're going to look at how to actually make your LinkedIn stand out. And then we'll also have resume breakouts. So we're going to have a finance breakout room, a tech breakout room, and a STEM breakout room. So please be sure to be there. Tell your friends about it. It will be amazing. very biased because I'm one of the speakers, but it probably will be the best workshop that we've had. Anyway, yeah, it's been great to have you guys there. And again, thank you so much for attending. This means so much. Don't forget to fill out. There'll be a feedback survey after this. And that helps us, first of all, to be better at organizing the workshops and make it better for you guys, and also just get feedback on how it's been for you so far. And again, the recording will be shared in a follow-up email. Everyone who's here will receive the email. But also, let me send the link in the chat again. And you can copy it. This workshop will also be uploaded to YouTube and will be shared with everyone as well. Thank you so much, everyone, and I hope you have a great Saturday afternoon or evening based on where you are.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.